For anyone watching this, I can wager that just this past week, you came across at least 50 different sources of rage bait. I can even wager that you fell for most of them. You've probably seen this.
Oh, sorry. I thought you looked good. Sorry, I thought your husband was a very great looking guy. Very sexy. No,
Okay, you at work.
I know, but I want him.
You want what? Oh, okay, let me call him.
Oh, no.
This is rage bait. To help you avoid getting affected by it going forward, I'm going to give you the guidance you need to shrug off rage bait like it's nothing. But it's not going to be easy. In case there's anybody thinking,
well, I don't fall for rage bait.
Don't worry, I got a challenge for everybody watching. I'm going to show you how easily you get played. Throughout this video, I placed 5 different rage bait clips. Consider them checkpoints. Your goal is to make it through all 5. For each one you make it past, you get a point. The catch is this: if you have to pause or rewind the clip to process the stupidity of what you saw, then you don't get a point. If you experience any visible negative reaction, if you start frowning even a little bit, then you don't get a point. If you start coming up with imaginary arguments in your head and start crafting what you would say to that person, you don't get a point. And lastly, if you check the comments to see what other people said or how they reacted to the clip, you won't get a point. If you can get past the clip without doing any of these things, then you get a point. Try to get all 5 points. To be honest, I don't think 99% of you are going to make it past all 5 unscathed. I don't think I will, and I made the damn video. Alright, prepare yourselves. And don't lie, okay? Be honest with your results when you're done.
Mitt Romney posted this video a few days ago.
Well, as you all know, today is National Hot Dog Day. I love hot dogs. I love them in buns. I love them outside of buns. It's the best, best meat there is, without question.
Did you catch the problem, though? There's always something with this guy. And here's the problem. Ketchup. He's got ketchup on the hot dog. No person over the age of 18, really no person over the age of 14 or 15, should ever put ketchup on a hot dog. It destroys the delicious taste and flavor and complexities of the hot dog. A hot dog is meant to be enjoyed with chopped onions. I need sauerkraut on a hot dog. Mustard, but not ketchup. Ketchup is for little children.
You made it through the first checkpoint. I thought I'd make the first one a little easy for you. You might have noticed I pulled the same trick at the beginning of the video. How did you do? Did you get a point? Remember, be honest. If you didn't get a point, that's okay. You still have 4 other chances ahead of you. But it'll get more challenging from here. It's kind of strange, actually. You would think that after all the time we spend on the internet that we'd be privy to any attempt at someone trying to play with our emotions. But it's the complete opposite, and it's like we can't even help but let other people take agency over how we think. And it's become such a widespread problem that nowadays, rage bait has become the norm. One indication of that is a term being labeled as Word of the Year in 2025, which is a shame because I was betting on the word of the year being crabs. Looks like I owe the mafia money again. We're exposed to it so damn much that it would be super difficult not to get got at least a few times. And this is true even if you're not chronically online. You can just be driving to work and come across rage bait. It pops up more than those ads I run into that say, oh, single hot Russians in your area. God, I wish that were true.
When do they celebrate the 4th of July in England? What date?
The 12th.
Can you name 3 countries besides the USA?
Africa, I don't know.
If you were born 10 years ago, how old would you be today?
I was born 10 years ago. I'm 23, I will be 12.
Do you know who fought in the Mexican-American War?
No, because I haven't learned that yet.
Do you know how long each president serves their term?
6 years, but they can go for 12, depends, like, if people re-elect them.
Do you know what year the War of 1812 was?
No.
Alright, you made it past the second checkpoint. Mark if you got a point. Let's keep going. Getting rage baited is like walking around a farmer's market and being lured into a particular booth by a seller who says, hey man, I got some fresh fish, the type of fish you've never seen. Want to check it out? And you're like, sure. And as soon as you stand in front of them, they smack you right across the face with sea bass. And you're like, the hell was that about? You tricked me? Why would you do that? Now imagine making the same mistake every single time where every time you walk past a booth, you're lured in and every time you get the same result. Sucks. So my first method for dealing with rage bait is to minimize exposure. The less you see rage bait, the less you rage, of course. So be mindful of the news you watch, the people you interact with, the content you consume. Whatever impacts your life negatively, leave it behind. If there's one thing your father taught me, is that it's okay to leave and not come back.
I just want to say, this has been a terrible meeting. I mean, it's been so boring. I just listen to all these people drone on. And let me tell you something, Jennifer, I love big booty Latinas. I sit here and I see, yes, I love.
You are out of line.
Why can't I say I love big booty Latinas? How do you figure that?
That
Wait, how is that
first response?
So my First Amendment right, I'm allowed to say I like big booty Latinas. How is that a crime? Is that because you're a big booty Latina? Hey, what, do you know the First Amendment? You know, I'm allowed, hey, no, see,
Twice already.
do you not understand the First Amendment? I'm allowed to say whatever I want. No, you don't understand the First Amendment. Then I'm allowed to say big booty Latina. Big booty Latina is not a crime to say that, officer. But this guy's such a dummy. He doesn't understand. It's not a crime. I can go to a meeting. I can call him a dummy. I can call you a big booty Latina. I can call you an idiot. I can call you a mask wearer, probably 5 times vaccinated. And I know you're probably gonna get my. Oh my God. I can say all that.
I cannot date a man who is a good father. There's always a back-to-school night, a parent-teacher conference, a birthday party, a play date, a recital, a game. There's always something that he has to be at.
There is nothing more icky than watching a guy walk out of Starbucks with a Frappuccino in his hand, like, sipping on his green straw. Oh my gosh. Order a black Americano like a man.
Nothing gives me the ick more than a man.
And that marks the third checkpoint. If you made it through successfully, then add a point. Shall we continue? Before we can figure out how to beat rage baiters, we must figure out where our enemies are coming from. And while it's true that it mostly takes place online, that's not always the case. You don't always have to be online to encounter it. For example, let's say you avoid all media for a week to focus on making your Bob Saget photo book. Nothing crazy ends up on your radar, right? But one day, you hear your friends talking about their reaction to that one brain-dead Pepsi commercial, and you're like, what Pepsi commercial? And that's when they show you. And just like that, you're involved. So how do we deal with it if it's sorta kinda everywhere? Like, yeah, you swatted away at one mosquito, but now more are coming to suck you off. Well, my second method for dealing with rage bait is to just see it for what it is. A pathetic stunt to grab your attention. Usually when we doom scroll, we turn our brains off, which makes us vulnerable to emotional manipulation. That's why you must get used to being vigilant. As long as you have that awareness in mind, you'll be less likely to take rage bait seriously.
Okay, you want to get that nice and clogged. Okay, there we go. So that's all the ice in there. Then you have your sherbet here. Oh, this is going to be so good.
That looks great.
It's going to be amazing, okay? You want all your sour candies in there. So some of these in here. Okay. And you're just going to start loading up this tank back here. Obviously, Sprite. Yeah. You want to get your Sprite in there. And the Fanta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mix that all around. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Wow.
I'm going to have one of these. Oh, yeah. Overflow, so we're not really sure. Oh, here we go.
Wow. So it starts, oh look, it is. It's filling up.
Wow. Go ahead and just get that in there. Get some ice in the punch.
Oh, nice.
Got the punch here. One for you.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Great. Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
Cheers.
And that was the fourth checkpoint. Make sure to add a point if you made it through without failing. We trudge on. Imagine some 13-year-old kid coming up to you like, you're dumb and gay. Horrible thing to say, by the way. You're not dumb. Would you take them seriously, or would you just look at them with absolute pity and not even bother to entertain them? Of course, ignoring that kid will just make them try even harder to get your attention by doing and saying even wilder things, and they'll keep on going until you give, but if you never give, they have no power. Nothing is more devastating to an attention seeker than being ignored, than being considered irrelevant by the masses, than being tickled on the wrong side of their back. In an ideal world, simply ignoring rage baiters would make them go away, but unfortunately, they tend to have fans that are equally as delusional as they are, supporting them, keeping them propped up in the limelight. So whatever effect you had by ignoring them is undone by the fans that enable them, so despite our efforts, they still occupy the spaces we frequent and stink up the place. With that, my third method for dealing with rage bait is not to get angry at the user, but to just pity them. Think about it. Take users like Tyler Olive Oil or Colby Jack Hammer, or however the hell you say their names. They're so trash that they can't even get an audience through personality or charm or any other positive qualities, right? No, they have to rely on cheap tactics. It's kind of sad, really. If you replace rage with pity, then it becomes a lot easier to move on.
I thought. That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
You know, when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? So none of y'all can't fuck with me or will fuck with me, and if you fuck with my daughter, then I'm sitting down for that.
And that was it. That was the final checkpoint. Time for the final results. For those of you who actually made it through all 5 checkpoints unfazed, congratulations! Your winning prize is a bag of every candy that contains Red 40. For those that didn't, don't sweat it. You all get a participation certificate that some random person's nephew made. Just treat this video as practice for when you encounter rage bait in the wild. So, my final method for dealing with rage bait is to prioritize your peace above all else. A little cheesy, I know, but every time you start falling for rage bait, just imagine a little voice in your head going like,
damn, so you're gonna let them control your emotions just like that? So you're cool with letting them win by reacting how they want. Gotcha.
Will the trend of rage bait ever go away? Sadly, no. It has and will always be around. Even Jesus himself had to go through rage bait, and man, he went through it. But we can minimize it, and find solace in the fact that we'll never be as pitiful as those who intentionally enrage others. Anyways, I gotta go. I got 2 pages left of my Bob Saget photo book to complete, so peace. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I need to tell you this. So basically,